Good morning, East Hartford. Last night we had a pretty long town council meeting, and here are the updates. So we had two presentations right off the bat. One, and this is a very, very positive update, was from our waste inspection supervisor, or we call him our solid waste official, Cesar Zapata, who had the pleasure of reporting to council that for the first time in a very long time, we have achieved a contamination rate of 0% in our recycling stream. And so I want to thank Cesar for his hard work. And I also want to thank you, the residents of East Hartford, for doing your part in making sure that you're recycling properly, you're putting things in the right bins, and like I said, helping to keep taxes as low as possible by making sure that we have no contaminated loads in our recycling stream. So kudos to East Hartford, kudos to the residents, and great job to Cesar. Our next presentation was from our development team, and it was regarding 341 East River Drive. That is the Simon Conover property that is going to have the Commerce Center apartments. This is a project we've been talking about for some time. It is 150 units of market rate apartments, an amenity rich project that's going to have a dog area, a pool, some workout areas, really just the one stop shop, amenity rich sort of developments we've been doing here in town. And so we went to council to discuss a proposed tax incentive agreement. And so we are going to be possibly giving them a tax abatement, and that is to make sure that the math and the numbers work for this project. We usually give tax abatements anytime that we want to make a project feasible here in the town of East Hartford. We do have to support development as much as possible. And so what this means is we are proposing to council an 8-year abatement. And our philosophy has been to do shorter tax abatements so that we can get projects to full taxation faster while also being able to support the project. But full taxation faster, as you guys know, is an absolute priority for the town of East Hartford. And so this isn't a 100% abatement. It is actually an incremental abatement. So the first year of their taxes, we would still get about $48,000 in taxes. Little by little, that tax abatement would decline from 100% all the way to 35% year 8, in which in 35% in year 8, we would be getting about $715,000. After the tax abatement has ended, the town will get more than $1 million annually every single year from this abatement. This is a one-time investment by the town of East Hartford in the amount of $5.2 million to a $50 million apartment project. What that means is that we are going to get 150 units of housing, significant grand list growth, incremental tax revenue growth to balance our budget, which we need, and also the indirect economic benefit spending of the 150 families or residents that are going to live in this apartment project. It's just to kind of give you an idea of how fast we'll get this return on our investment. By year 8, the last year of the tax abatement, we'll have already made back $2.6 million of that initial $5.2 million investment. By year 10, we'll have made back our entire $5.2 million and then some. And so within 10 years, we'll have already made back our one-time investment. And as I mentioned, in addition to that, we'll get new units of housing, grand list growth, as well as incremental tax revenue growth, which we so badly need to balance our budget. So for us, this makes a lot of sense, both in making the math work, but also bringing a beautiful project to East Hartford. Right now, the land that this is occupied is a vacant lot. It's just a grass lot. It's not generating any taxes, only about, as I mentioned, $48,000. And so we're going to take a property that's making only $48,000 now, and with 8 years, it'll be making or $1 million annually, year over year over year. So just want to make sure you guys understand why we're doing that. But that is a proposed tax incentive agreement for the Simon Conover project. It was not voted on by council. It will be voted on by council at the next May meeting, which I believe is May 6th. So this was just to kind of update the council on what it was going to be like. All right, and now moving down to new business, we did have a few items. One starting with an agreement with Riverfront Recapture for the Great River Park Recreations Trails Network project. And so Great River Park, or the town, had received a grant from DEEP, DEEP, in the amount of $262,750. And that is to simply work with Riverfront Recapture to reroute some of the trails where we have the bank of the river kind of failing and eroding into the river. So we do need to reroute some of the trails. We are going to connect some of the trails to Two Rivers Magnet School that's there, as well as to this new Commerce Center Simon Conover project as well. So just a really wonderful recreations grant to continue to do some work on our trails at Great River Park. Our next, we had a couple grant applications. One starting with the grant application from the Connecticut State Library 2026 Historic Documents Preservation Grant. And so we are applying to this grant. It is in the amount of $7,000, and it is for our town clerk to continue to digitize our historic documents. With this grant, it would bring us back to digitizing historic documents all the way back to 1954. Our next grant was from the Capital Workforce Partners 2025 Summer Youth Employment Program. This is a startup grant in the amount of $19,243. We do get a chunk of funding from the state and Capital Workforce Partners at a later date, sometime in June, which then we know how many slots we can fill for summer youth employment. The Summer Youth Employment Program is a program that the town utilizes to employ our youth here in town as well as in local businesses just for the summer. So we do pay them a very nice wage. We give them a lot of great exposure to the workforce and even experience here like someplace in the mayor's office. So this is just a startup grant to get the program going and to help pay for some of our staff time. But that program will be starting very soon. And if anyone watching has any youth that you're interested in summer opportunities, please reach out to Youth Services as soon as possible, and we'll try to get you signed up for summer youth employment. Our next item was a recommendation from Personnel and Pension Subcommittee, which was the proposed job description for a new position of an assistant building official apprentice program in the development department. And so this has really been an effort to try to attract building officials to the town of East Hartford. We are having trouble, probably just like every municipality, in attracting building officials, licensed building officials who can go out, do inspections, sign off on building permits, sign off on plans. We have about 3 inspectors now. I believe we are in need of 4 or 5. And so this is an out-of-box way to try to bring in someone who doesn't yet have their licensure, get them started. This person will likely already have been in the trade themselves. They could have been a plumber, an electrician, an HVAC person, or just a general contractor, but don't have their license to be able to sign off on building permits and plans. And so we want to bring them in, start to hire them, get them acclimated to the town of East Hartford, get them used to the culture, get them to start doing some of the work while working with them to get their training, to get their education, and to get their license, and then employ them full time, where they become a self-sustaining building official supporting the town's operations here in the town of East Hartford. So this was approved by the town council, and we will post to go out to hire to hopefully get this apprenticeship program going as soon as possible and fill those vacancies that we've been having trouble filling. All right, our next item is a recommendation from the Fees Committee. This is for the boards and commissions clerks. There was also a referral to the Personnel and Pension Subcommittee for the proposed job description for boards and commissions clerks. So, but many of the boards and commissions have a clerk who helps file the minutes, get the agendas together, and works with the town on any logistic needs for the commission itself. And so we do offer a small stipend to the boards and commissions clerks. In previous years, those stipends were all over the place. So this was just an effort to make them more uniform. Many of the boards will have a stipend of $125. The land use boards, such as Inland Wetlands Commission, Planning and Zoning, as well as the Zoning Board of Appeals, will see an increase to $150. And that is to acknowledge some of the additional training and state statute requirements that those boards and commission members have to go through. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure that we were creating a job description for the boards and commissions clerks as we work to attract boards and commissions, so that they understood what the role was, what their responsibilities are, and what to expect if they are indeed do become a boards and commissions clerk. So that was a recommendation from Fees and also a referral to Personnel and Pension Subcommittee. All right, our next couple items was another referral to the Fees Committee to take a look at cemetery fees. Our DPW director is proposing a few increases, just about 2% on some of our cemetery fees, and this is to be able to cover our staff costs and when we are working out in the cemetery. So this was just a referral to Fees Committee. It would still need to be discussed and decided on, and then they'll shoot it back to the greater group for a recommendation or for a vote by the town council. All right, our last couple items is the amusement permit application by the Harley Davidson Spring Open House. Harley Davidson is having their annual spring open house. So this is just an amusement permit application that was filed by them and approved by the town council. Our next item was an appointment to boards and commissions. We just want to thank Rob Rosa, who is a Republican who was appointed to the Planning and Zoning Committee. I do know Rob very well. Great guy. Got a lot of real estate knowledge. So thanks for stepping up, Rob, and volunteering your time to the town of East Hartford. And then lastly, we have a refund of taxes in the amount of $17,032. Per state statute, those who overpay in their taxes are entitled to a refund. Alrighty, East Hartford. I'll see you next time for more updates on the town council meetings. Have a great Wednesday.